Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, and it is a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? And joining me today, I have two amazing guests. I have Tengen and I have Anosuke Zanetsu. I don't know. What it,
I have the Wind Hashira too.
you're the Wind Hashira too? So this is incredible. Like we have so many people on the screen right now, but joining me is Momcorexx, and who is the other guest that we have that's running behind you right now?
This is my son, Aylin. I wore Tengen specifically for him. He requested that I come on as Tengen. His first con, we went as Inosuke and Tengen, and this is his cat, Inosuke, also.
Nice. Oh, wow, the cat's name is Inosuke too? That's awesome.
Inosuke is a theme in this house. All right, baby, can I finish doing my thing? Yes. Hello, I love you.
Are you
Hi.
Huh? I'll get it in a second.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too, Mama.
You're the best.
Oh, hey, what a great way to start this interview. You know, the Great Turkey War is come and gone. We're still here, and you know, now the Great Gingerbread War is approaching us. But before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into today's interview. So I'm going to call you Mom. I'm going to call you Mom. Mama, there we go. So Mama, I got to ask you, the first question I ask every guest up here is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one, so tell everybody who you are.
Okay, so like how I began cosplay?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Before you got into cosplay, like, what is it that led you to want to get into cosplay?
I have always been such a weirdo. I can't remember a point in my life when I wasn't dressing up. Halloween was my favorite time of year. Like whenever I was little, I remember the year The Hunchback of Notre Dame came out. My mom was sick in the hospital, and she like handmade me this Esmeralda costume, right? And that year, I was probably like 6. That year was the year I was like, that's good, what I'm gonna do every year for Halloween for the rest of my life. And it's only gotten worse. Like when I was a senior in high school, probably I started doing like Princess Leia, and then I fell off for a really long time, and then I got locked in my house for a month. Yeah, gotta go. We had to fill in that pandemic time somehow. Yeah, it all started with Soul Eater.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. It's crazy that you had mentioned The Hunchback, because I remember when I saw that movie when I was a kid, I was not a fan of it, and it wasn't until I watched the movie last year as an adult, like I became a fan of it, because I feel like that movie, while back in the day, like it looked really good, I feel like it had a lot of adult themes in it that if you were a kid, you really wouldn't pick up on some of the stuff that was going on.
Man, I find myself like rewatching all these Disney classics with my kid, you know what I mean? And like, I'm a musical nerd. I'm gonna listen to the songs in the car, but like, when I actually rewatched it and I was listening to Lord Frollo basically sing a song about how he wanted to rape Esmeralda so bad that she deserved to die, I was just like, what? I like consumed this as a child. Like that scene where Esmeralda like cuts Quasimodo out and she's like, justice! It was so impactful for like a 7-year-old. What were they doing?
I know, man. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. Hold on. Okay. Yes, son. Yes. Thank you.
Oh.
All right. Thank you. Tiny Tengen. Thank you. I love you. I wish I could put it here.
I was expecting a tiny Inosuke, but tiny Tengen works.
There's like 5 tiny Inosuke's in this house. He just got another blind bag yesterday, and he was like, I've got 2 now. And he has mystery. Yes. All right, baby, let me do this, okay? Perfect. You're a star. I love you. Okay.
No, you're good. So I wanted to ask you, have you ever seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2?
Yes.
How did you feel about it?
Okay, so I really like that Quasimodo finally got his love story.
Okay.
He was, you know, we all knew that Esmeralda was in love with Phoebus, whatever, but like at the end of the day, she'd have never been able to even meet Phoebus if it hadn't been for Quasimodo holding it down. I loved that someone showed, like, I don't know, that one got me going. I love all the Disney sequels. I don't care what anyone says. I like The Little Mermaid 2 too.
Okay.
Melody deserved a chance. She deserved to taste the ocean.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy because I mean, like, you know, a lot of people they really aren't fans of the Disney sequels. They and I mean, some of them are good, but then there's some of them where it's just like, you know, like I watched The Hunchback of Notre Dame too. I want to say it was this year when I had COVID, and when I was watching it, I was like, man, like it was just I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it. You know, I mean,
it's never gonna stack up to the originals that we love, but like it was nice to see Quasimodo like finally get his little love story. You know
that's
what I mean?
true.
The Disney sequels are very hit or miss because like Aladdin had two. I only know about one, and it is not even the Return of Jafar. Like it's the one where you finally meet Aladdin's dad, Aladdin and the King of Thieves, and you see like the wedding. Yep. That movie slapped, and
yeah,
I don't know. It wasn't like the sequel, but it was the sequel to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like I like Return of Jafar, and I like Aladdin and the King of Thieves. I thought that it was a good way to finish off the Aladdin series. I see one of my favorite Disney movies is Hercules. So it's just like it sucks that Hercules never really got that Disney sequel. But I mean, since we're here and we're talking about Disney movies real quick, I gotta ask you, and like this goes for animated, CGI, or live action, because I've gotten this answer as well. What are your top 5 favorite Disney movies of all time? And it can be in any order.
Top 5 favorite Disney movies. Definitely got to go with you with Hercules. Pocahontas, fantastic movie. I'm gonna go with Bug's Life because it just hits different.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna say it. It's Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't care how anyone feels. I'll never care how anyone feels. Jack and Sally forever. Number 1 favorite Disney movie.
This is a tough one.
I know.
And we're going
I grew up in Florida, so like Disney was like the thing. Like it was the thing. I'm gonna just say that it's probably, and this is so out of left field, but you know, I'm just gonna say it's Dumbo. I love Dumbo.
Dumbo. I've never heard anybody say that Dumbo was in their top 5. That is incredible. Because like Dumbo is like, don't hate me for this, but it's like one of my least favorite Disney movies of all time.
It's boring and sad.
It is.
It's so sad.
Yo, when they announced that they were doing a live action version, I was just like, who asked for this? And now we know who asked for it. It was you.
It was
you were the one.
That and the Mary Poppins remake all day.
Okay. All right. I like it. I like it. I mean, and then since we're still sitting here on Disney too, I got to ask you, how did you feel about Turning Red?
I loved Turning Red. I thought it's aimed at girls who are going through, and not even just girls, it's aimed at kids who are going through body changes.
Yeah.
Why are we so ashamed of that? Why is everyone so upset about it? Girls, people uterus breathe once a month.
I don't know why.
I don't understand.
I don't know why. But look, I got to ask you, do you know the lyrics to the songs? Because you say you like to sing.
No, I don't know the lyrics to the songs. My son, he ruined my life with Encanto at the same time. I can sing every word of every Encanto song, but Turning Red, we missed the soundtrack on that one. It was all Encanto all the time.
I'm trying to think
with Luisa.
I'm trying to think for Encanto, because I've sung with people up here before, and we've done like Stardust. Me and them, we had did Felix and Papa's part. And then I'm trying to think. Okay, I've never done this part with anybody. Since you know the lyric, we'll do the town people part. Okay. So you start with the fish lady, and then I'll start with the guy who grew a gut, and then after that, then you have the priest that lost his hair, and we can do that part together. You ready?
I've been training my whole life for this.
All right, 3. All right, 3,
I'm ready.
2, 1.
He told me my fish would die the next day, dead.
No. He told me I'd grow a gut, and just like he said, He said that all my hair would disappear. Now look at my hair. No, no. Your fate is sealed once your prophecy is read. He told me that the life of my dreams would be promised and someday be mine. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, you stay killing it up here, man. So look, all right, now let's dial it back and let's get back into the cosplay stuff because you showed your origin story. Now, like, what was it that led to you, wanting to pursue this actively? Because like the cosplays that you've done, like they look really amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's so nice to exist in someone who's a little bit more powerful than what I get to experience. Like the first real cosplay I would say that I did is Sailor Neptune. She's so dreamy and ethereal and graceful, and I am so none of those things. Like my favorite thing about her is that whenever Haruka, whenever her lover is threatened, she's like, I will destroy the world. I will rip it apart. And then they adopt this little tiny baby. And I don't know what it was about her, but when I put that costume on, I was like, I'm ready to do more. I'm ready to do more. And then I started this Halloween project where I was doing the 31 different costumes every day. Yep. And that kind of just propelled it even further. It's just nice to be someone else. It's nice to not have my responsibilities for a little while. And also, as lame as this is, I love going to cons and seeing how excited people are to see what I've done and how excited I am to see what they've done. I don't care if it took you 20 minutes to make your cosplay. I don't care if it took you 20 hours. I don't care if you spend $1,000. If you look happy, I'm so happy. That's what I love cosplay for. That's what I love cosplay for. It's not for anyone specific. You can be anybody. There are no rules. You don't have to look like anything. You don't have to be like anything. I don't care what anyone says to you. I will fight them.
Who's that cosplayer?
Sailor Tay cosplay.
I'm the same way.
With my hand. I don't care. I also another thing I like about cosplay is that I can take all these big masculine figures and make them really small and feminine. Yeah. And am I allowed to cuss?
You get one F-bomb, but nobody's ever used it up here, so.
No, then I'm not going to be the first.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, you're good. Monetization, baby. But yeah, I like messing with people. I like taking every idea that they have and just being like, no, we're not doing it that way and spinning it. It's my favorite thing about cosplay is that there are no rules.
Yep, I 100% agree with you on that. And, I'm the same way too when it comes to seeing cosplayers have fun. I remember it was the first NecoCon that I had went to, and there was this little kid there, and he was supposed to be Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z. And of course he didn't have the accurate outfit on. He was just wearing it was closet cosplay. He had on some white pants and he had on a pink shirt. And he had a towel wrapped around. No, it wasn't a towel. He was wearing a purple vest. And I was just like, hey, are you supposed to be Majin Buu? And he got so excited when I asked him that. And it's like you said, I mean, cosplay, you're supposed to have a good time. You're supposed to be happy. And, screw those people that are those cosplay elitists. It's just you're supposed to do this, and that. It's just look, nobody asked for your opinion. I'm here to have a good time, meet friends, take photos, do the TikTok videos like everybody does. And, speaking of, meeting friends, you did a collab with somebody that I interviewed up here previously, JoJo's Bizarre Cosplays. And y'all can check out that interview. It is up here on YouTube. And JoJo's is a really awesome person. And that's JoJo's with a Z, not an S. You got to make sure that you say that. So I got to ask, how was it, doing Tengen and his wives with JoJo's and your other group?
Man, I love JoJo so much. I got really into cosplay. I started going back to cons a lot when my son's dad and I split. That's when I started getting out there, and I found myself surrounded by beautiful humans, and JoJo was number one so many times. Her and my friend Derby, Puppy Drew on Instagram. JoJo is so bubbly and fantastic, and I actually met her because me, her, and Derby were gonna do Liz, Patty, and Kid Death for a con. And that's how like we hung out, and I was like, I love you so much. The first time like I actually physically met her, she showed up at Tennis Peach, and I was like, oh my god. But as Tengen and my wives, it was me, Jareth, and Naomi, and Jojo, and Aelin was there as a Nosuke. And literally one of my favorite pictures of me ever, I'm doing like this with a vape in my mouth, and JoJo's between my legs staring up at me because she's my first wife.
Yeah.
And I love her so much. And when I die, that's going to be the picture they put on my tombstone. That is my vibe. I love JoJo so much. She is such a talented human, and her inspiration is limitless. We're doing another, I think JoJo's in every group costume I'm doing for the next con I'm going to. All 3 days. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. You know, and I've said this about JoJo before, like they are just pure and full of energy. And when they was telling me their origin story about how, you know, the boys didn't want to talk with her because she was a girl, even though she knew a lot about anime. And she was just like, I'm not going to let these boys ruin me, stop me from having a good time. And I'm going to do bad all by myself. And then now look at her. She's doing like all of these amazing cosplays. Like you guys have a cosplay group together. And now, you know, once you pass on to the next world, it's like she's going to be there on your tombstone. And I think that's really awesome.
Immortal. JoJo's Immortal Bizarre Cosplay.
I love it. I love the name. So I got to ask you now, because like you've done so many amazing cosplays, like I had mentioned earlier. Give me your favorite 3.
I love being Misa Amane. She is my favorite cosplay. I like that she got off scot-free at the end. Probably my favorite thing ever about it. Silent Hill Nurse. It was one of my favorite costumes. It was so fun to make. That was my first time making like a big prosthetic face mask. It wrapped all the way around my head. That one was super fun. And I'm going to throw it all the way back to my first real cosplay ever, Harley Quinn. I lied. It's not Sailor Neptune. It's Harley Quinn. Like catsuit Harley Quinn. She was the most fun all the time. I've kind of retired her now because that's not the crazy I have anymore.
Yeah, you leveled up.
Yeah, it was time to put her away. We'll see who comes out next.
No, I feel that. I mean, like sometimes it's just like, you know, you're known for that one cosplay, and then it's just like, it's time to move on. But you know me, like it's like I cosplay as Jotaro Kujo, and I'm just sitting here thinking of like different ideas of like, what can I do with Jotaro next? Like I really want to do a Santa Claus version of Jotaro. Like, and also too, like I'm thinking about incorporating like Jotaro stuff into you know, my professional wrestling career. Like I remember a fan saw me do the finger point in a match, and he had came up to me during intermission, and he was like, "Hey, was that Jotaro pose?" I was like, "Yeah, that was." I said, "So you got it." So and that's one of the cool things too, where it's just like it's really cool being a nerd, and like there's so many like nerdums and everything now, which is, you know, what I love. Going back to what you were saying about like cosplay, like having a fun time and just being happy. So I got to ask you now, what have been some of your favorite moments from going to cons over the years?
Oh, okay. So this is so random. I'm obsessed with Doug Jones, and so is my son. He, ever since he was a little boy, he's been like after that weird creature thing that Doug Jones is always doing. And he hasn't seen the movie, but he's obsessed with the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth and also the gentleman from Buffy. So while we're at the con, I paid the money for us to meet Doug Jones or whatever, and I'm completely starstruck. Like I can't talk. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm really standing in front of Doug Jones. I can't believe like this is happening. And my son's just like, I love the Pale Man. He's so flappy, just talking and talking and talking. And Doug Jones stops and he looks at him and he goes, "Oh, you mean this guy?" And his whole demeanor changed, like everything changed. And I just like, I've got goosebumps again now. But I was just like, I love you so much, son. You just got the coolest thing ever to happen. It was. Also, I saw a guy dressed as like the most perfect cloud eating Korean barbecue across from me while I was dressed as Misa Amane. And I was trying to come back. I had these red Shinigami contacts in, and I was walking around. I didn't see his giant sword sticking out. So I tripped over Cloud's sword and almost spilled my Korean barbecue. And we just kind of looked at each other and was like, "Sup, dude, that didn't happen." And I carried on.
You carried on my wayward son. I had to use the Supernatural reference. So are you a Supernatural fan?
Not enough to be able to know anything about it. I've watched a few episodes. It's one of those shows that I want to get into, but I haven't given myself the chance to because I watch the same 20 shows repeatedly.
I feel you on that, especially with Disney, watching Disney and anime and all that stuff. Sometimes it's hard to get into newer shows, so I totally understand that. So we are here at the end of the interview, and I wish we had more time, but like I said at the start of this thing, the Great Gingerbread War is approaching us. The Great Turkey War is already past us now. And I've been asking all of my guests, what has been one of their favorite dishes that they love to have on the Great Turkey War. But since we're going into the Great Gingerbread War, it's I feel like this question has to be a good question to close out the interview. And that is, what has been one of your favorite moments during the Christmas holidays?
There was one year, my son's dad ate all the cookies on the plate for Santa. And I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And then one of us accidentally kicked a hole in this big present, but it was wrapped in Deadpool wrapping paper. And I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to explain that Santa didn't just eat it? Deadpool came to Christmas. Deadpool came to Christmas. That's what happened. I punched a bunch of holes in them and I put scuff marks on the floor. And I wrote this really crappy note. And I was like, dear Aylin, Santa was breaking into your house, so I kicked him out and left you a cool present. And I duct taped around this Nerf gun, and I've never seen a happier kid in my life. He was like, Deadpool came here? Deadpool got Santa out of my house? And I was like, yeah, he did. Oh, thank God.
That's awesome, man. And I feel like that's a good way to, segue into the Great Gingerbread War. We got the Christmas story, and now it's just I just need everybody to be ready because them gingerbread men, they're coming, and they're gonna be throwing gumdrops and hot fudge and everything. So we got to take them out. So with that being said, thank you so much, Mama, for joining me up here on a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer. You were awesome. It was cool meeting Aylin, and if Aylin wants to come back and say goodbye to everybody, go ahead and call him into the room so that way.
Right. Aylin, come say bye. Come say bye. He has been as excited about this as I have, if not more. You ready to say bye?
Bye. It was nice meeting you.
Thank y'all. Have a good night.
So before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Instagram is Momcorexx. I have another account that I don't use, so if you find it, it's not real. And that's everywhere. That's everything. Yeah, it's just Momcore. I just have Instagram and Facebook.
Nice. Aylin, you have an Instagram too?
Yeah.
All right, what's your Instagram?
Very heavily monitored Instagram.
I've always wanted to be on YouTube.
Hey, well, now you're going to be on YouTube.
Now you're on YouTube.
You're on YouTube. And you're going into the Great Gingerbread War. So thank you guys so much for joining me up here. And y'all already know where you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again for watching this interview. Make sure you check out some more interviews we have here on the channel, along with reviews and reaction videos. Check out our podcast. We have brand new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down below in the description. With that being said, keep that pinky up, stay positive, get ready for the Great Gingerbread War. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.